everyone.
Welcome to show number 2.
This is Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're keeping it real.
Today's show, we're going to talk about living each day as our last.
But before we get into that, Steph's going to read our quote that pretty much defines the premise of our show.
All right. And that quote is by a man, and he says, "When I was young and free and my imagination had no limits, I dreamed of changing the world. As I grew older and wiser, I realized the world would not change. And I decided to shorten my sights somewhat and change only my country, but it too seemed immovable. As I entered my twilight years, in one last desperate attempt, I sought to change only my family, those closest to me, but alas, they would have none of it. And now here I lie on my deathbed and realize, perhaps for the first time, that if only I changed myself first, then by example I may have influenced my family, and with their encouragement and support, I may have bettered my country, and who knows, I may have changed the world."
Change the world. That's a really powerful quote, and I think it really ties into our show topic today, live each day as your last. Because to be able to change the world and start by the individual change and then go out and then finally have this snowball effect to change the world, we need to take advantage of every day and live each day fully to our full potential.
And be the example to others to do that.
Exactly.
And Kevin and I believe that there are 3 ways in which we can live each day fully. We can either live in the past and reflect on it. We can be present in the moment and give 100% to what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Or we can live for the future and plan and prepare.
Right, but I think what we're trying to get at for this show is that it would be a combination of all 3 put together. So a lot of people, you see that they're only living in the past or only in the present or only in the future, but we want to, remember the past and grow from our mistakes, learn from our mistakes, and at the same time be able to experience and live 100% in the present moment.
Right.
And then as well as, that it's okay to still prepare for the future.
Right.
And
as long as we're not getting anxious or fearful of the future.
Constantly worried, just this constant, fear or whatever it is, So I think if we can have like a combination of all 3, that's when we can really start to live each day as if it was our last.
Right. And I think didn't you meet with that motivational speaker?
Right, yeah, I was talking to Steph about this before the show, and a motivational speaker, his name is Jim, he asked me this question before. We were having a conversation over dinner one time, and he asked me, "Kevin," he said, "how do you know?" And I said, "Know what?" He said, "How do you know that you have 60 years left to live, or 20 years, or even 6 months? How do you know that when you go home tonight that your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your wife or your husband are going to be there to tell them how much you love them and how much you care for them and how much you appreciate them?"
Right.
How do you know?
You don't.
That's exactly it. We really don't know the answer to that question. I was just so caught off guard.
Right.
Which I guess brings us to another question.
Is where is our focus? Where is your focus today? Is it in line with your values? Is it in line with what you hold nearest and dearest to your heart?
Right.
Or are we preoccupied with these little things about, getting the 100% instead of the 90% on the exam? Are we preoccupied with our plans for tomorrow? Are we preoccupied with the mistake we made 2 weeks ago? We need to learn from our mistakes, get over them, think about the future, but not let it consume us, and just really focus on the present.
And I think, like you turn on the news any night and you see, that 3 kids died in a fire accident, in an apartment complex.
They had no idea it was coming.
Right, or just like all these, deaths that you hear in our community. There was a friend of mine that died in a car accident last week. He was only 20 years old. And it just makes you think that, you really need to cherish the time we have and realize that we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Right.
And which might mean that you need to pick up your phone and call the family right now and say, Mom, Dad, I love you, I appreciate you, I care for you, because who really knows? How do you know that they're going to be there?
Right.
To let you know that.
So up next, we're going to have a guest on the show that's going to show us how understanding the past helps us live in the present and also prepare for the future. So after the break, we'll have Kim with us. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
have a problem.
What?
I missed Grey's Anatomy last week, and now I'm gonna be so behind.
Still missing the problem here.
What do you mean? We're talking about Grey's here, the most watched television show.
Okay, well, I get that, but what I don't get is why you don't just watch the Entertainment Buzz on WOLV TV. They have recaps of all of today's most popular television shows, plus you can get previews of upcoming movies and find out what's hot in Hollywood. I mean, there's no reason not to watch.
That show's the coolest. They interviewed The Rock on that show.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go catch a spit. Man, guys, I wonder who this week's short shot's gonna be.
We're gonna go watch the Entertainment Buzz right now!
I'm with them. Gotta go catch Grey's.
I guess everyone's going to catch the Entertainment Buzz, only on WOLV TV. And welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're keeping it real, as always.
Yes, and we're here with our guest, Kim. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the
Kim,
show.
nice to meet you. How's it going?
Good.
Great.
Kim is a car accident survivor. It was almost a fatal accident.
Right.
She was in a coma for 6 days and in the hospital for a month and a half, and went through almost 6 months of rehabilitation therapy. And she's here with us to tell her story. So, Kim, you want to talk to us a little bit about this? I mean,
About the accident, yeah.
Okay. Well, it happened my senior year of high school, which was October 2002. I had just sent in all my college applications. I thought everything was just going great in my life. Everything just looked really positive. And then one day, in the middle of October, I was leaving school after just a normal school day, turning left out of my high school parking lot, which was really congested all the time. And I was hit by an oncoming pickup truck that was speeding, and it totally took off the whole left side of my car, which is where I was.
Wow.
They
I think we have a few pictures of this.
Okay. Yeah.
Of the
Show the
car.
extent of the damage. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Pretty intense.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember I was on the
And you were
driver's
inside
side.
Oh gosh.
Wow. And did they? So they came and did they
How did they
get you
get you
out?
out of there? Yeah.
Well, actually, I fell out. They took out the whole left side of my car.
Oh my god.
So I fell out. I was on the street when they found me, and I was unconscious, no response.
That's real.
So it was scary.
Yeah.
And then I went to the hospital for about a month and a half. And I, along with broken bones, I sustained severe head injuries, which is probably the worst part of my injury, which took the most rehabilitation. And it was probably the most, the scariest thing, the thing that we didn't really know what the outcome would be.
Right.
So.
Wow.
Well, it's great to have you here today. So
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank
you for
you.
being. Yeah, that's awesome.
So you had family and friends in the hospital all the time, and
Yeah, my mom stayed with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then I had family and teachers and people that I had never even met before who just lived in my town. I'm
Right.
from kind of a small town, so everyone heard about it, especially because it happened at my school.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, all these random people I'd never met before came in and, were telling me that they were
Right.
praying for me, all this stuff. And it was, I wasn't really aware of what was going on. My mom was very overwhelmed by, all the support from our community and things like that.
yeah, wow. So after going through that, did that make you change anything about how you viewed life,
Yeah, in
or
general,
your life, or everyone around you? Did you think differently towards them, or act differently
Right.
towards them, or just cherish your life more in any way?
Definitely. I don't think any high schooler or anyone even our age ever thinks that, maybe I could be dead tomorrow.
Right.
So just that kind of puts life into perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. And the fact that I had to work so hard to come through it, a lot of people doubted me. A lot of people thought that I would never get through it. I would never
Right.
be at the University of Michigan of all things.
Right.
And so just going through that makes me feel so much more powerful now that I could accomplish so much more because I did that.
Right.
So now it just motivates me to live every day as if my last,
Exactly,
and because I
exactly.
know now that I have the power to do that.
I think
Right.
it was
So-
something that was beyond your control, but you ended up growing from this experience, and really coming out on top and starting
Right.
to live every day as your last, pursuing your dreams and your passions.
So when you get caught up in the everydayness of college life and stress
As we
and
all do.
everything,
As we all do,
you
yeah.
ever think back to a few years ago, and does that make you put stuff into perspective better?
Definitely. I hear all my friends complaining, you know, like, I have an exam tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I have to do this and that. And I just think about where I was 4 years ago, like, barely hanging on. And it definitely puts things into perspective. Like, don't sweat the small stuff, basically. Like, you know, it could be a lot worse. And
I mean, we aren't guaranteed tomorrow when it comes down to it.
So just, you know, cherish every day and cherish people that you're with and things that you're doing. You know, 4 years ago when I was lying in a hospital bed, I would have given anything to be back at school. Like, I know we hate school, we hate going to class every day, but I remember begging my parents, like, please let me go back to school. You know, I just wanted to be normal again. So we should cherish, like, being able to be here, especially at a university where we are so privileged to be.
Wow. All right, well, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks so much, Kim, and just, you know, sharing your heartwarming story. You know, it's just a miracle, I think. You know, and I think that your story can really provide an example, hopefully, to other people out there that, you know, we need to live each day as our last, and that life is short. You know, and so we need to just take advantage of every opportunity we have, and, you know, realize what's really important to us and what really matters in life.
Exactly. And up next, we're actually going to speak with someone who's helping to find a cure for a disease that has affected people who now know the significance of living each day as if it were their last.
Stay tuned.
We'll see you back here.
Thanks. All right.
I introduced you wrong.
Yes. Hello? Hi. What does the G spot even stand for?
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah. Hello? About poking. Do I poke before I message, or do I message before I poke? It's Rock here. You are watching.
Are we coming back? Hello and welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're back, and we're keeping it real, as always.
Exactly, and this show is called Living Each Day as If It Were Our Last. And Kim, our previous guest, reminds us the importance of reflecting on our past, but not dwelling on it.
Right.
And the importance of taking our past with us and carrying it on. So when we're having that rough day, when we're really down and worrying about the small things, to really think back at, you know, we almost lost our life there, or it could be worse for us.
Exactly, and I think to really understand that there's a lot of things that are beyond our control out there, you know, whether it's a traffic jam or, in Kim's case, a car accident, you know, it's just, you know, we need to really understand the significance of that statement that we need to live each day as our last.
Right, so thanks again, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. So now, joining us today is a member of the ALS Walk, and he is a co-chair working to head this program to raise money for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is ALS disease, also known as, I hope I got the saying right, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, the famous baseball player. And so with us today is Cam, the co-chair of the ALS Walk, and we're going to...
Keeping it real.
As always. So yeah, I think we'd like to just kind of start off in terms of what is this ALS Walk, and, you know, what are they... I mean, why are they raising the money for this? You know?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's see, it's hosted by Phi Delta Theta fraternity, which I'm a member, and Pi Beta Phi sorority. We're co-hosting the walk, and it is Lou Gehrig's disease is what we're fighting to.
A flyer up, I think. There we go.
We're fighting to raise money for that. Lou Gehrig was actually a Phi Delt back when he was in school back in the 20s
Okay.
at Columbia University in New York City before he went on for his famous baseball career.
Right. With the
He's
Yankees.
a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, and this is actually the second annual walk in Ann Arbor that we've done. We did one last year, which raised around $7,000 to fight ALS.
Right. And I was talking to you before the show that this year it sounds like it's going to have a bigger response already.
Yeah,
than last
definitely.
year.
It's kind of like you were talking about earlier, snowball effect.
Right.
Once the word gets out in the community, sponsors start to pile up, and we're really excited about the prospects for this year.
I think we actually talked about this concept on the last show about turning the snowflake into the snowball, and it being winter outside.
That's what we're doing.
I think it's pretty pertinent to mention that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So
hopefully this year we'll have a snowman, and then like snow family in future years.
So you recruit other people to help raise money for this, or to help. So
Right
do
now,
you actually interact with the patients of this disease?
For every walk that ALS of Michigan puts on, they have
Um,
it's called a PAL of ALS. It's a person with ALS.
Okay.
It's kind of an acronym, PALS, person with ALS.
So you walk with them?
Yeah, they come and speak and tell their story, which is really, pretty a heartwarming thing because ALS is a degenerative nervous system disease, which really
can affect anyone.
Definitely, exactly.
You know,
and pretty much eliminates your muscle use. Pretty much these people, or eventually these people can't breathe on their own, eat.
And the thing is too about the disease is that not only does it affect millions of people, but at the same time it affects them when they least expect it.
Exactly.
I mean, like you could be just going about your daily business, and all of a sudden now you have ALS disease.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
Lou Gehrig was in the middle of the season, and then suddenly he had to retire, and then died within pretty much 6 months.
So it's I think these people, I mean, are the embodiment of living each day as your last, because they really start to
it really reminds them
same.
Once they're pretty much stuck in a wheelchair.
Right.
I mean, that pretty much reminds them of what's really important in life, your family, your friends.
Exactly. You kind of strip away all the other things that don't really matter that much, and kind of focus, put the majority of your focus onto what really matters.
Yeah.
So,
next
question: How does someone get involved?
Okay. Actually, right now we're trying to recruit student groups across campus, trying to go through the dorms, pick up students to help come walk with us and raise money.
When's the walk?
The walk is March 31st.
Okay.
It's actually in the Sports Coliseum
on campus,
down on Hill Street, across from L. Bell Field.
Okay.
March 31st, around 10 o'clock to 2 p.m. So we're gonna have food, refreshments, and then walk about 3 miles or so.
Make some change. Keep it real.
Yeah, definitely.
So
how can people sign up for this?
Yeah,
there's a website. The website is alsofmichigan.kintira.org. That's the website. You can go there and register your team, and then start accumulating
on the
funds.
flyer, as you guys can see. Okay.
Yeah, start raising money.
All right, great. I mean, all student groups are highly encouraged, and even if you're not in a student group and want to get involved with something that I think is just a great cause and help to raise money to help fight this disease that currently has no cure, that'd be great. So, Cam, thanks so much for being on our show again.
Definitely, man.
Keeping it real.
Appreciate it, you guys.
Not keeping it false.
Not false. 100% real.
Up next, what do we have, Steph?
Up next, we have someone who's working on living in the present now and helping others do the same. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
It's going to be a good show tonight, Jesse.
Better than Tuesday newsfeed, at least.
You know we're right here, right?
Yeah, guys, what's your problem? Hey guys, no offense. All I'm saying is we're better at reading the news than you. What? We're better than you? Heck yeah. We'd totally take you in a talk-off. Fine, it's a talk-off. Children sell seashells down by the seashore to swimmers that shout shameful sayings and sharks that shout shameful sayings back.
Peter Piper picked a peck of Did Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers? If Peter Oh no, go to weather, now!
They're sending on their weather? No, go to weather. We're going to weather. What are you doing here?
I'm trying to do weather.
I'm doing weather tonight.
No, I'm
sorry.
They put the best people on weather for tonight.
Oh, are you kidding?
Cut. Hey, it's my night. I say cut.
Did you just see that? Obviously, our night Wednesday is a lot better, right?
Of course. Be sure to turn in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night for all your campus, local, and international news.
See you then.
problem.
What?
I missed Grey's Anatomy last week, and now I'm gonna be so behind.
Still missing the problem here.
What do you mean? We're talking about Grey's here, the most watched television show.
Okay, well, I get that, but what I don't get is why you don't just watch The Entertainment Buzz on WOLV TV. They have recaps of all of today's most popular television shows, plus you can get previews of upcoming movies and find out what's hot in Hollywood. I mean, there's no reason not to watch.
That show's the coolest. They interviewed The Rock on that show.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go catch the spit. Man, guys, I wonder who this week's short shot's gonna be.
We're gonna go watch The Entertainment Buzz right now!
I'm with them. Gotta go catch Grey's.
I guess everyone's going to catch The Entertainment Buzz, only on WOLV TV.
Yes, hello? Hi, what does the G-spot even stand for?
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah, hello? About poking. Do I poke before I message, or do I message before I poke?
Welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're keeping it real.
And we're going to continue with our topic for the day, which is living each day as our last.
Right, so our next guest, which we have with us, his name is Jason. And
welcome to the show, Jason.
Jason, it's great to have you on. And he's all about living in the present and really trying to cherish each day and live it as his last. And I was talking with him before the show a little bit about what you felt like your life's purpose and vision was for the world. So maybe if you want to talk about that and kind of how it ties into today's topic.
Okay, great. Yeah, for me, I've adopted a lot of Challenge Day's mission, which is to create a world where every child and our inner child feels safe, loved, and celebrated.
And Challenge Day, Challenge Day is a program.
It's a program basically to empower youth and address issues of isolation and bullying in the schools. And basically what it does empowers youth to create change in themselves and in their schools and communities.
Right.
And I'm all about that. That organization is wonderful, as well as connecting people. I really enjoy connecting people, and I find that connecting people to their passion and their true identity.
Definitely.
So your mission statement for your life is similar to that of Challenge Days.
Correct. I adopted theirs. I believe in the organization a lot.
Absolutely. So how do you incorporate that into your everyday life?
For me, it's really being present to the people in my life, as well as empowering them to find their true passion and calling in life. And for me, it took a while. It's been a 12 to 15-year journey of self-discovery and really looking and doing transformational programs and looking inside myself, holding the mirror up, and really looking inside.
Wow.
Okay. So your message is to create yourself first, and in doing that, you can lead by example or just by preaching to others.
The change, basically.
Right. And be the change you want to see in the world. Gandhi's quote is wonderful, and it really explains a lot. And I think we get to a point, and for me, it's like now I'm leading the change, is what I see.
Great.
And for me, and it is demonstrating, doing my own work, and healing myself, and finding my true passion and desire, and then teaching others how to do the same.
Something that kind of makes you come alive.
Absolutely.
In a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I noticed that you wanted to be labeled on the show as a visionary. So I was wondering if you maybe want to talk about I know that you've already talked about some of your goals and like what you feel like your purpose is for being here, but maybe just sort of like your overall vision for this earth.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Wow.
Thank you.
That's a big one. That's a big one. My vision for this earth, what I envision for myself, and it really is for people to find their true identity and purpose in life, and really drop the barriers that exist that our society puts on us to put on an image in the front, and really treat each other with respect and love, and really the deep connections and really being authentic, being real with each other.
I think that's key.
And within ourselves and in our communities, and it snowballs out. It's a ripple effect.
Right.
So now, Jason, can you give us an example here for our viewers? I remember you said something about healing yourself inside. Do you have an example or a concrete thing that our
like in
viewers
your life that might have
can
happened?
Take with them and try to make the change within themselves?
Right. Kind of like the turning point for you, because it sounds like, that you found like what you were passionate about, but like, what did it take, to have you get to that point? Because that's like, once you get to where you're passionate about, I think that's how you can really start to live each day as was your last, because you're going towards your towards your dreams.
Absolutely. For me, my grandpa actually committed suicide when I was about 9.
Oh.
And for me, that was at that point I kind of turned myself off and really quit caring.
Okay.
And later in high school, I started self-medicating with alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
And then through college, a lot of the same.
Okay.
After college, I was an officer in the Air Force, and for me, at that point, I knew that wasn't my calling, and I just felt a burning desire inside. I knew I had a higher purpose, and for me, it was a matter of finding that. So I did a lot of growth work and a lot of healing. So
that's inspiring for sure.
So you just kind of felt yourself hit, and then you knew you needed to change something.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
It's
cool.
really inspirational for others when you share that story.
I think it really ties back into the quote that you read earlier. That really just says that we need to make the individual change first, and then by that way, we create that ripple effect and expand on that. So thanks so much for sharing everything with us today. It was great having you on. So, anyways. We're just about to wrap up here, but we just wanted to let you know if you want to email us, you can do that at kzawala, which is K, my last name, SZAWALA at umich.edu
or at wolv.keepingitreal
at umich.edu. You can do that too. And
we'd love to hear from you.
Website is www.http:// my last name, Zawala.Google Pages actually, is it .com/keepingreal, but I think we have a link on WOLV TV.
Let's just go to
let's just go with that.
wolv.umich.edu.
Go to wolv.umich and we'll go from there. So anyways, this was Keeping Real with Steph and Kev. Live each day as if it was your last.
Yep.
Thanks for having us on our show. And let's start making that change in the world, because how do you know how long you have to live? Start cherishing the people that matter the most to you.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week, where our topic will be
Passionate Jobs.
Passionate Jobs.
Look forward to it.
We'll have some interesting guests on, and we hope to see you back here next week.
Exactly. So just try to maybe take what we, reevaluate where you were at in your life today and what we talked about in some of the guest example, how they sort of tie into your life and how you can maybe make that change and start to eventually and positively impact the world.
Be the change.
Be the
Have
change.
a nice day.
Thank you.